The United States has no king, at least not yet, and we're not supposed to. But right now, we are in danger of getting who I would consider, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, perhaps the worst possible person to be king, Donald Trump. It's his birthday this Saturday, and he plans to celebrate by throwing himself a ridiculous military parade to soothe and stroke his soft, fragile ego. I plan to celebrate by joining one of the many No Kings protests that are happening all over the country. If you're able to, I encourage you to do so as well, but more on that later. It's been a while since I've posted a political video, so you might be wondering why now, after all of the insane, horrific things the Trump regime has done since he took office. For example, Trump imposed tariffs that have put the US and global economy in jeopardy just so he could get foreign leaders to come kiss his ass, his words, and beg him for exemptions so he could feel like some kind of mob boss. He brought in Elon Musk and his Doge team to pretend to remove waste, fraud, and abuse while actually cutting essential programs that genuinely help people, ripping food out of the mouths of public school kids and seniors who rely on programs like Meals on Wheels, all to justify massive tax cuts for the wealthy. That's literally robbing the poor to feed the rich. Then there's he and VP J.D. Vance treating our ally and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky disgracefully when he visited the Oval Office and was in need of our help. And Trump continues to give, shall we say, full-throated support to Vladimir Putin, the brutal dictator of Russia. Trump was willing to accept a private jet from Qatar, which is wildly corrupt and violates long-standing precedent against presidents accepting gifts. He launched a meme coin scam, some kind of Trump token, where insiders appear to have profited massively by taking advantage of Trump fans who got suckered. This is not just tacky, it's grifting, and it opens the door for foreign governments to funnel money to him. He also seriously suggested relocating Gazans to another country so he could build luxury resorts there. Trump has also been deporting undocumented immigrants and legal ones without due process. And just to be clear, that means being informed of the charges against you, getting a hearing and representation, and getting a chance to respond. That's not some kind of loophole or privilege. It's a basic principle of justice that everyone deserves. So yeah, I haven't posted a video like this since just after the election. To be honest, I needed a break and then life got in the way, but I do feel like we're at a critical inflection point. The United States was founded very specifically to avoid having an all-powerful king. We were set up with three separate but equal branches of government: legislative, judicial, and executive. Now Trump has been trying to undermine that balance and consolidate power for himself. And if we all don't speak up ASAP, he's going to succeed. Trump recently used legal, peaceful protests in California as an excuse to send military troops there without consulting with Governor Gavin Newsom. And note that the president is not actually allowed to use the US military for police actions, but he's doing it anyway, trying to create chaos and lay the groundwork for declaring martial law, which could give him an excuse to shut down protests and crush dissent altogether and for good. This past Thursday, U.S. Senator Alex Padilla was tackled and arrested by DH agents while trying to ask a question. That was his crime. That's it. Asking Kristi Noem a question. This is a senator handcuffed for asking questions. This is a shocking abuse of power and a betrayal of what America is supposed to stand for, which is free speech. The ability to criticize the government is fundamental to who we are. It's what the United States was built on. And of course, there's his birthday parade this weekend, a massive example of exactly the kind of waste that he claimed to want to eliminate. It's expected to cost up to $50 million, including pointless damage that all the tanks will do to DC streets, which will then need repair. It's the kind of fake display of power that dictators use to mask their insecurity. Meanwhile, what's getting buried in all the distractions is Trump's one big beautiful bill. This is particularly scary to me because unlike executive orders, if this actually becomes law, it will be extremely difficult or impossible to undo. And what it actually does is eliminate key checks on his power. For example, it would allow the president to unilaterally fire independent agency heads and inspectors general and eliminate the ability for courts to hold him in contempt, removing some of the last guardrails on executive abuse. It slashes funding for programs like Medicare and Medicaid, programs that protect our most vulnerable, our elderly, sick, disabled, and poor. It guts environmental protections, repeals key parts of the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, and hands more control to the president. It's a blatant attempt to seize more power and to silence opposition and make things more difficult for people of this country. So again, this Saturday, I plan to protest not just in spite of Trump's threats. He literally warned that any protesters would be met with big force and heavy force, but because of those threats. You see, peaceful protest is an American right, and it's as patriotic as it gets. Trump would love for all of us to stay home, cowering in fear. But if we show up in massive numbers and protest, peacefully protest, that's key, he will be the one who's afraid. And if there's one thing that Trump respects, it's crowd size. So please get out there and join one of the many No Kings protests happening near you all over the country. I'll put some info in the description. And if you're in Portland and you want to join me, send me a DM. If you can't protest in person, there's still plenty that you can do. Share this video, make your own video, talk to your friends and family, talk to strangers, to anybody who will listen. In particular, call your representatives and make sure they know how important this is to you. Make your voice heard. And remember, if a protest gets disrupted by bad actors trying to turn it violent, sit down and make it clear that you are not part of the problem and make it easy to identify who is. Don't let a few people discredit the movement. Use your voice while you still have it, or you'll lose it. Oh, and P.S. Trump is also trying to distract from the fact that his former best bud, Elon Musk, accused him of being on the Epstein list. And while we don't know for sure, go ahead and have a look for yourself at the video of Trump and Epstein partying together and make your own judgment. To be fair, Elon apologized for going too far in his comments. So Elon, don't forget to wish Trump a happy Father's Day, since it looks like he's your daddy. So even if thunderstorms cancel Trump's little birthday extravaganza, which I found out might be a thing, I still plan to show up and protest here in Portland, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.